I am Maria Garcia de Fleury. Throughout the history of the Church, especially since the 5th century, the rose was considered a symbol of the Virgin Mary. Later, in the Laureate Litany in 1587, the title of the Virgin Mary as Mystical Rose was included. The devotion was boosted by the apparitions of the Virgin to Pierina Gili, a young woman from a peasant family who worked as a housekeeper and a nurse in a hospital and led a very simple life until her death in 1991 at the age of 80. The apparitions of Mary Mystical Rose and Mother of the Church occurred in the town of Fontanelli, located at south of Montichiari in the province of Brescia, Italy, and spanned two periods. The first was on the night between November 23rd and 24th, 1946, at the height of a very serious illness. The Mother of God appeared to Pierina as a beautiful lady dressed in violet with a white veil that descended from her head to toe. Her arms were open and she had three swords stuck in her chest in the direction of her heart. And she told her that she had come to ask her for prayers, sacrifice, and sufferings to repair the sins of three categories of souls consecrated to God. First, for religious souls who betray their vocations. Second, to repair the mortal sins of the souls. And third, to repair the betrayal of priests who make themselves unworthy of the sacred ministry. Then, on July 13, 1947, the Virgin appeared to her again, this time dressed all in white with three roses on her chest instead of three swords. The white rose indicating the spirit of prayer, the red rose the spirit of sacrifice, and the yellow rose indicating the spirit of penance with reflections of gold. That day, Our Lady asked that on the 13th of each month, a Marian day be celebrated with particular solemnity, preceded as preparation by a time of prayer and penance lasting 12 days. The second cycle of apparitions occurred in Fontanelli on May 13, 1966. That day, Our Lady indicated to Pierina a specific fountain as a place of purification for everyone who would come to it and drink from that water. That same year, a sanctuary began to be built in that place that was not structured like a church, but rather like an open amphitheater. On one side, there is a chapel for the Eucharistic celebration, and on the other, a second smaller chapel to protect the fountain indicated by the apparition. On the Feast of Corpus Christi on June 9, 1966, the mystical rose appeared again to Pierina among the fields of ripe wheat and asked that the wheat be ground to become Eucharistic bread for many reparative communions. On the Feast of that Transfiguration, the following August 6, 1966, the Blessed Virgin Mary asked that the World Day of Reparative Communion be celebrated on October 13. In July 2024, the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith gave green light to the spiritual experience of the Virgin Mary of the Mystical Rose as an apparition and only asked to be studied the results from the dissemination of the message that comes from heaven, because she's the Mother of God, and with God we always win.